Hey, welcome to Integrative Preparedness. I'm Steve Smith. Good to see you all. Welcome to everyone. Welcome to all the new subscribers, both on YouTube and on Patreon. I'm going to say more about that in a couple of minutes. I know the thing that I'm going like this are my glasses because I'm going to need them in a minute. I don't need them right now to look at you. Boy, we opened up a can of worms yesterday, didn't we? With that video. I don't think I have ever seen so many extremely smart comments or as many total jerks as yesterday. For those of you who left all the smart ones, you just keep upholding my claim that I have the smartest commenters in YouTube land, and for those who were jerks, they're gone, so you don't have to worry about those. I have a real low tolerance for that kind of stuff. I have, and I'm going to talk more about that in a minute. We're going to talk about here a couple of things about follow-ups from yesterday, and then I'm going to kind of lay down some rules of the road. We have so many people here, so many new people, that I kind of want them, I want you as a new person to understand kind of the channel, what we do here, what the expectations are, because I want you to be comfortable here. And if it's not your cup of tea, then the thing to do is to move on somewhere else, not try to stir the pot, okay? And I say that kindly, but if you don't know the rules, you know, it makes it difficult, okay? And I'm a stickler on stuff like that. Anyway, on the first item, snake bite, I think I'll put in a heading on this. I put up a couple over on Patreon where I put that original video that everybody's referring to. If you see it down in the comments, I've put a couple of follow-up videos. Somebody made a statement that the person who was putting that up, one over on Patreon, was kind of walking that back. No, that wasn't. And I see. I'm not chastising you over it. I can see where it would have been taken like that, but I watched it closely, and I watched the one after that. And no, that's not, they weren't walking it back at all. They were actually correcting, trying to clarify something that Stu Peters had kind of misled through his titling and everything like that. But there was no walk back on it, and it wasn't the stuff about the water that was important anyway. It was an observation that certainly could be concerning, but the real information was something else, and it was about snake venom. Excuse me. I do, apparently, as I get older, I suffer from seasonal allergies, and sometimes that makes me have to clear my throat. For that, I apologize. If you can't, I have a lot of people not a lot. I've had 3 people over the years complain about that. Maybe I should bring that up. If that bothers you, I'm sorry. I don't do it on purpose, so you can move on or whatever, but that's a warning, or deal with it like you would if you were sitting here with me in my home, which is where I am. So I've put up a couple of follow-up videos on that over on Patreon. For those of you who are already on Patreon, it's going to help fill in the gaps. And yesterday's video brought out a couple of topics. I'm probably going to put a couple more Patreon-only videos up there in the next day or so for those over there. I have learned that there is a difference, as highly as I think of the YouTube family here, the YouTube community. There is a difference between the YouTube community and the Patreon community. And I just don't get any of the trouble over on Patreon, that I have to kind of, weed through the comments over here. It takes time. As we get more people, it takes more time. I don't have the time. So I'll be putting more over there on Patreon. So for those of you who are already over there, that stuff is over there for you. If you're not on Patreon, I do invite you. I had somebody say, you're just getting trying to get people, and I'm coming up on that in a minute. You're just trying to get people to come over to your Patreon. Yes, I am. I am. I would love you to come over to the Patreon channel because I put more stuff over there than I do on YouTube. If you don't want it, I mean, it's naturally, it's up to you. It's your dollar. You know, do what you want, but there's no reason to, and I'm going to get into that a little more deeply for those who need it. So now I'm going to cover some of the rules of the road here. Consider these if you came into I view this as if you came in, I won't say my home, if you came into my bar or my restaurant, let's put it that way. If you came into my restaurant, I'm happy to have everybody here. Enjoy it, order something off the menu. If you don't see anything off on the menu, just go to the next restaurant down the road, okay? But don't stand up at your table and go, there's nothing here that I like. I mean, come on. You stand up and you let the whole world judge you like that. Okay. Here's the things. Here's some channel rules. Keep in mind, and I want to invite any of our older people who have been around a long time. If you see anything that you think maybe I forgot, Steve forgot that one. Go ahead, put it in here. Put it in for the education and edification of the new folks, because we want them to have a good time here too, right? And we want them to participate and contribute in their comments and their questions and everything like that. And for you newer people, I've just got exceptional older people here. Both, a lot of them older in age, and a lot of them just means that they've been here with me for quite a while and they know how things go. First off, be nice, okay? I've written these down so I don't forget. And I know I left some off. Be nice. What does that include, being nice? Well, it would include, do you remember what your mom taught you? Hopefully. Yeah. Be polite. Be courteous. If anybody needs anyone to explain what being polite and courteous is, it's not my place to do that, okay? Just don't start arguments. And don't be snarky. We all know what those are, okay? Snarky people know they're being snarky because they've practiced at it, okay? Argumentative people are people who just, I put one up over on American Reversion the other day, and it was about science has now come up with, it was funny, science has now come up with the character traits of a-holes. So don't be one. Don't be one. Be nice. I spent the most of my professional adult life dealing with troublemakers. I can spot it when it's a seed, and that's where I stop it. Okay? It's easier to pull the seed out and throw it away than to let it grow into a weed, bother the other plants around it, and then I have to pull it anyway, right? So I recognize the seeds when I see them. I block those people. I think I had to block. I blocked probably 25 people from as a result of yesterday's. And none of them were people who had been with us before. I always check. Somebody leaves a stupid comment, and I'll cover a couple of those in a minute. I was, okay, who is this person? I don't recognize the name. I click on their channel, and I see, well, no, they've never left a comment here before. And usually I find, and we know, are they trolls or are they bots? Who knows? I find that they don't have any content. They don't follow anybody. And to be honest, taking off, Mrs. Snurdly. All right. Yeah. See you later. Bye-bye. Those of you who are also on American Reversion understood that joke. And if they do follow people, they are some strange channels that they follow. Okay, we're probably being snarky. A-holes is accepted and thought it's cool. We don't think it's cool here. Questions of me or others. Okay, refer to the above. Be nice, which means polite, courteous. Don't start arguments and don't be snarky. If you have a question, just ask it nicely. If you truly want an answer, none of these questions like, oh yeah, do you think that such and such and such and such? Bam, you're gone. I know. I'm a hard ass. I've always been a hard ass. I'm a hard ass in my personal life, but I'm very nice. I'm a very nice person. Ask people who know me, they'll say, I'll do anything for you in the world unless you're an idiot. Okay. Don't leave links. Okay. Don't leave links. It won't allow it through. I've put up the filter that it will not allow a comment with a link in it, because I just don't have time to go through and garden all those and pull all the weeds. There are some people who have sent stuff with links that when I have a chance and I see them and I watch them, if I have a chance to watch what it is, I say, that's a good link. I would like everybody to see that, and maybe I will let that go, and then I'll give it a go. But if you put in a link and you don't see it up there, it's because the filter stopped it. Don't put up links. If the best way to do that, if you're a member on Patreon, this is one of the perks of being a member on Patreon. Go over there and you can send me a message and say, hey, Steve, here's a link. I have people on patrons do that all the time. And a lot of times I'll either respond to that or I'll allow the link to remain, or sometimes I will go to the link and put either the article, the video, whatever they send me, I'll put it up as a standalone entry onto the Patreon channel. And that's what Patreon is. I don't remember if that's down here in my list. If you ask what Patreon is, it's the site that I put everything that I put on YouTube plus a whole lot more. Okay. So a lot of it's more of my original content, the things that I really don't want to put out there to the vast world of YouTube, because I know it's going to attract idiots who are going to waste my time with stupid questions and thinking that they know it all, and we have a much, if I say more highly developed group over there, it doesn't mean that some of you aren't on YouTube at all. It just makes me wonder why you're not also on Patreon. Okay. That's your choice, but I put a lot more stuff over there on Patreon. And as a result of yesterday's, I see I'm going to be putting a greater percentage over just on Patreon than I am here. Don't try to promote other channels. If I want to promote another channel, I will. Okay. And I see the sneaky ways that people do it too. So don't think you're getting one over on me. You're not. And it can be done in a way of question, or it can be done in a way of, I just went to such and such a place, and okay, none of that. Think about it this way. Okay. Think about it this way. I put time into this, and I'm going to get in a minute. I'm not sure if I'm going to talk about on this one why I started the channel. I may not, because I think I'm going to do a separate one on that. I think I'm just going to do that over on Patreon. But because that's really sharing a lot of stuff with people who care. But think about it this way. If you were in my restaurant, just like you're on my channel, and you stand up and say, now if you turn to your friends who are at your table, and you say, well, I really like that other restaurant down the street too. Okay, that's good. No problem, right? And you share that, with your friends. But on my channel, you're in my restaurant. And it would be the same as you standing up in the middle of a restaurant and say, hey, folks, that restaurant down the street is really great. Let's go down there. Do you see what I'm talking about? You see what I mean? Okay. If you want to promote another channel, do it on your channel. Okay. You don't have a channel? I know. That's why a lot of people do that, And you might be doing it for a friend or somebody that you particularly like. And I understand that. But since I haven't laid this out before, I'm just asking now, please don't do that. It's a bit of an insult. Okay. Well, if you can't take if you think that's an insult, you don't deserve to have a channel. Okay. Put that on your channel. Okay. I've heard that idiocies too. Why I chat at the beginning. Okay. The reason that I chat at the beginning, this kind of gets into why I started the channel. Did you know, a lot of people out there don't know that I'm really a writer. That's how I make my living. the books behind me are the books that I wrote. And the only reason that I started my channel was to talk a little bit about the lessons contained in my books. And I really saw it. I never expected the channel to really grow. I just kind of sat down and I was going to chat and talk about those things. And it was really a kind of a small group of, I just enjoyed chatting. So I chat at the beginning of a video. And if you don't like it, no one's forcing you to stay here. Just leave, okay? There's no reason for you to come on, and show everybody what you are by saying, good grief, he spent the first 5 minutes talking about nothing. I'm not talking about nothing. I'm talking to people that I enjoy talking to. It's like if you came to my home. If a guest comes to my home, I just don't immediately start going, well, what I asked you over here to talk about was blah, 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 blah. Okay, I'm not like that. I'm going to say, hey, how are you today? Good to see you. Here's kind of what's going on. How are you? And here's a couple of things. Well, they say, what's going on with you? So it's just kind of it's like the notes that you ever go to a church where they have the announcements? Consider that. Okay. So that's why I chat at the beginning. You don't like it, go somewhere else. It won't hurt my feelings. It's just not for you. But don't come on and say, that I'm wrong to do it because this is my channel. Here's a great. You're just trying to sell your books. I usually mention. I went for a couple of years without ever mentioning my books, and then I realized, well, that's stupid. It's the reason that you started your channel, and so many people didn't know that I was a writer. And so, for those of you who this will tick off, and these are my books. You want to read what some people say are some great books? There they are. The links to them, and it's a post-apocalyptic, a post-CME world where everything collapses, and it's about preparing for, living through a collapse, and then rebuilding society afterwards. This is the latest one that just came out, Blessings of Freedom. Starts with the reversion, the revival, the renewal, an appeal to heaven, and the blessings of freedom. You can find them on Amazon. I put the link. You see, but that's what I do for a living, and that's why I originally started the channel. You can find the link for Amazon is below here, as is my link to the Patreon channel, which I love people to come over and join because I have more stuff over there. So yeah, you're just trying to sell your books? Yeah. Are you jealous that you haven't written a book to sell? Is that your problem? I know I'm not talking to you. Most of you are laughing out there. I'm talking to the idiot who would say that. That's just like you're just trying to get people to get to your Patreon channel. I already covered that. Yes, I am. I put more stuff over there. If you want it, you can. Here's another favorite. I get this every now and then. I think I got 2 of these yesterday from people who hadn't been here before. If you really cared about mankind, you'd put it up for free. Really? Well, I put up a lot of stuff for free. I mean, just come here, okay? You're not paying to be on YouTube if you're watching this on YouTube. I spent most of my adult life helping mankind, Have you? And here's the thing. Most people who will say that, and I get it, I can't, for those of us who can't afford $1 for Patreon, you should make this available. I think I got this yesterday. You should make this available for free. Why? Do you say that to your grocery store? If you really cared about people, you wouldn't charge me for this food, except I know probably, but people who say things like that, maybe they are using food stamps. Well, do you say it to your landlord? Do you say it to the electric company? Maybe you're getting all of that stuff paid by me and the other people here through your government subsidies and think that everything should be given to you free. You are not the kind of person that I'm talking to, because I'll be real honest. When you have reached that degree of entitlement, you can't be helped. I know, I say things pretty strong sometimes, but I say the truth. You can't be helped. So if you don't care, I told a person one time I was helping, I said, I am not going to care more about you than you care about yourself. And if you don't care enough about yourself to somehow be able to get $1, if you want the information, I'm not forcing the information, but you want it, do something about it. It's not up to me to do something for you in that regard. Another one, it kind of goes back to, hey, it took to you, why do you chat all the time? The people who come on and say, and I've even had a couple of, I'll preface this by saying, I've even had a couple of people say this that have been around for a while, because I go back and I check their previous comments, and okay, they've left a couple of comments, but they'll say things like, video starts at 6 minutes and 42 seconds. Okay, you might think you're being clever, but you're not. I don't view that as being clever. What that really says is nothing he said before 6 minutes and 42 seconds was worth your time to listen to. Okay, do you realize? For maybe there's a couple of people out there who have done that, and they say, "Oh, well, that's not the way I meant it." Well, that's what it means. Okay, so that's none of that. That first off, it gets the comment taken off, and then it might get that person blocked. If they're a repeat offender, or if I just think that they're snarky and I see that they're a troll, then we don't allow that. I weed the garden pretty well. I weed it well. So I think those are the basics of the rules of my house, my restaurant, my bar. If there's a question, always fall back to the first one, and that's be nice. And if you older guys out there, think of anything, you probably can. Think of anything else that the newer people might want to know. Put it in the comments, help them along. And again, for you newer people, welcome. It's great to have you here. We hope that you will learn a lot, that you'll enjoy what you get here, and that you contribute. And by that, I don't mean send me money. I mean contribute to the conversation with your thoughts, your questions. If you have a particular area of expertise or knowledge, share that, appropriately. If it has to do with the video. So I think that's it. Again, there's going to be more coming out over on Patreon, and I've already put up those 2 follow-ups to yesterday's. Love to have you over there. I do want to have you over there because of the things that I want you to, that I want to share with you, if you want to know them, that I won't be sharing here on YouTube anymore. So that being said, you all have a great day. Remember that we prepare well today in order to live well tomorrow. And I want you all to live well tomorrow. So you'll have a great day. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.